Let me know when you're ready, Gina.
Yeah,
Are you ready? Okay.
Wish.
We can do the call to order, but we'll take our time on the roll call. And I'm Jack Bob for the invitation. We'd like to call this meeting to order, please. First on the item we have is Jackie Bob Martin doing the invocation for her. Everybody stand, please.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer. We praise you for your goodness, and you're so good not watching over us and meeting our needs. I pray that you guide us and help us to do that which is pleasing to you and help our people that we represent. I pray this time of this meeting that you help us, lead us and guide us. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. Roll call, please.
Bill Hanglin.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Michael Conner. Kara Calvin Watt. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Meredith Fraley. Here. Don Garvin. Charles Hoskin.
Here.
William Johnson.
Here.
John Keener. Jackie Bob Martin. Linda O'Leary. Ryan Shoptown. David Thornton.
Present.
Bill Cherokee. Here.
15 present, we have a quorum. Next item is the approval of minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried. The next item is the State of the Nation, delivered by the Principal Chief, Chad Smith.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to address you on the State of the Nation, January 2006. We have lots of good news tonight. Before we proceed to that, we must remember those that have passed on before us. Past month. These are just several of those. One of those that I would like to acknowledge particularly is Mary Lamons. She was a dedicated Cherokee Nation employee up at the Head Start. She was an outstanding employee. Everybody knew her, was disarmed by her charm. Everybody who worked with her was just thrilled with her performance and dedication to the Cherokee people. Kyla Black Bear, 15-year-old from Sequoia High School, died as a result of an epidemic that plagued all of Indian country. Went into a diabetic coma at the age of 15. Louisa Kirk Cunningham, one of her own. So if you will, share with me this moment of silence for them, their families, and others who have passed in this last month. Since we're beginning 2006, I'd like to begin this year with a recast of some of the accomplishments we had this last year. 2005 was a great year for the Cherokee Nation. In addition to winning the Supreme Court case upholding our health management contracts with the Indian Health Service, we have noteworthy accomplishments occurring in language, economic development, and community services. Language and education were highlighted by a new degree from Northeastern State University, as well as broadening our Cherokee Nation radio program. Our immersion school still is growing. Economic in the 14 counties of the Cherokee Nation was enhanced by business initiatives in construction and renovation that started in our clinics and our gaming operations. Multiple community centers were established and funded by the Cherokee Nation and built by our own people through self-help. One major activity in language and education occurred when the Cherokee Nation established the 4-year degree program, the first one in the country, and it was approved in record time by the Oklahoma Board of Regents. It will help preserve the Cherokee language, our heritage, and prepare graduates for K-12 teaching positions. The major achievement in our economic life was when the Council passed the Jobs Growth Act of 2005. This legislation is essential to restructuring the businesses of the tribe and fortifying its financial future for coming generations through business diversification. Another economic milestone was the opening of the Cherokee One-Stop Business Center located in the tribal complex south here in Tahlequah. It's providing technical assistance, business support, a resource center, and workshops for Indian certified businesses. It's a one-stop shop where all of our procurement and contracting needs are expressed. We had gaming construction and renovations in 2005, including the Cherokee Nation Enterprises opening Will Rogers Downs in Claremore. Racino and its adjacent RV Pack will impact northeastern Oklahoma economy, will provide 100 new jobs in the area. The Cherokee Nation's largest health clinic will be a new 90,000 square foot clinic in Muskogee. And again, it's through the persistence of Don Bulldog Garvin that if it hadn't been for him, we would still be looking for land. This clinic will add 200 jobs for Muskogee's economy. We also passed our first act creating a national park around the Saline Courthouse. It garnered some international attention right before Christmas. We also have our conservationists at work, in which the Arkansas bat, the second rarest species in the country behind the California condor, was protected on tribal lands. In any measure, 2005 was a great year for the Cherokee Nation in areas of language, education, jobs, and community services. And we at the Cherokee Nation, our citizens, have much to anticipate in 2006. Our chores and our work, our rewards are before us. I'd like to share with you some program news. Congratulations to the Jay and Salina Clinics for receiving full accreditation for their diabetes self-management education programs. The accreditation was received through the Indian Health Service, and we must congratulate the senior staff for accomplishing that. We have some special guests tonight. They call and ask if they could make a presentation, and it's the kind of honor we certainly appreciate. So I'd like to introduce Paul Jones and Gary Jackson with the Oklahoma Committee with the employer support of the United States Guard and Reserves. Paul and Gary. Okay, there you go. Right.
Now, where you go, Paul? We just stand right out here so the folks can see.
Yes.
Chief Smith, it's an honor to be here again to your headquarters. We were here last November, for the dedication of the Veterans Memorial. I have to tell you, sir, it's just that's an amazing piece of work. We really appreciate the efforts of the nation for that. Also, last year, you signed a statement of support along with Deputy Chief Grayson that supported the men and women who served in the Oklahoma Army National Guard, Air National Guard, and reserves across the state. And we recognize that. And it also caused our committee to choose the Cherokee Nation as the top employer in Oklahoma, and would like to present you with this Pro Patriot Award as being our top employer.
Great. Jim?
way up here, Chief President.
We recognize and we know from our visits here, and we know from the things that you do, that the veterans of the Cherokee Nation couldn't ask for a more supportive tribe and individual. And Mr. Jackson presented you the Pro Patria Award as a nation, as a tribe. But we also recognize that that doesn't just happen. It takes the leadership of men like yourself to bring an organization and a nation together to provide that support. So on an individual basis, I'd like to present both of you the 7 SEALs Awards. And what that represents is your support to all 7 SEALs of the Reserve and National Guard components of the United States military, and we thank you for that very much.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, Bill.
I want to thank all you veterans. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this. Thank you.
Many of you know Joe's a decorated Vietnam veteran, and Veterans Affairs is something that's very dear to his heart. But I think I can speak on behalf of the council and Joe and all of our citizens. It's our honor to recognize our veterans, not the other way around. So we thank you for the opportunity to express our most sincere appreciation of veterans' services and sacrifices. We will talk about who we will honor tonight in our veterans honors. And the first one is Charles Walking Stick. He was Let me read a little bit about Mr. Walking Stick. Born in 1922 in Muskogee, Oklahoma, he enlisted in the Marine Corps in 1941. Charles is a War II veteran, served in the Pacific Theater. He fought battles in Saipan, the Marshall Islands, and Okinawa. He's what is called an atomic veteran because he was with the 2nd Marine Corps Division, which was sent into Nagasaki, Japan, after the atomic bomb was dropped in that city. He's received many awards with the Marine Corps. He soon became the commander of the Center Unit of the Marine Corps League, a nationwide organization of Marine Corps veterans. He's still active as commander of the Oklahoma Reserve Force, an organization that completes service projects for state schools as well as collects medical supplies to send to third world countries. Like his military career, Charles brings success to all he does. He's made a living as a commercial artist for most of his life and has many art awards to his credit. His works are part of the private collections all over the United States. We're presenting him the Cherokee Nation Medal of Patriotism.
Taking my chest.
We'd like to present a certificate that has a picture of the Veterans Memorial.
We want to put it like this, sort of hold that and face that camera right there.
So they can see.
Okay?
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
It's a great honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you please say a word?
Well, this is a great honor for the Cherokee tribe, and I'm proud to be a Cherokee, which I've been for 84 years. I'd like to thank all you council members too, especially Mr. Johnson here. I met him this morning, that's why. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Michael Dawes? Is it Michael McCall? All right, they've got, you spell your name differently. What'd you come up for, please? Michael Dawes was born in Cherokee County and raised in Eldon, Oklahoma. He's the son of the late Mike Dawes and Doretha, his mom. He graduated from Hobart High School in May of 2000. In April 2001, he enlisted in the Army and became the third generation to do so. While in the Army, he fought the war in terrorism, did a tour in Iraq in 2003 to 2004 while being attached to the 101st Airborne Unit. In 2004, he volunteered to do a tour in Kuwait. He received an honorable discharge. Almost got discharged and honorable intertwined there. In July of 2005. He's now working at the Cherokee Casino as a security officer. His future plans consist of attending Northeastern State University and earning a bachelor's degree in criminal justice and pursuing, like his revered father did, in service to the Cherokee Nation in law enforcement. He's proud to be a Cherokee citizen and enjoyed sharing his heritage with other cultures in his travels. What a
Thanks, everybody.
And our third honoree is in California this evening where he's stationed, and we're hoping that he's watching via the internet broadcast. Darren Henson was born in 1965 in Tahlequah. He graduated from Sequoia High School in 1984. He enlisted in the Air Force in 1985 as an aircraft mechanic. His first duty was the 9th SRW Strategic Reconnaissance Wing at Deal Air Force Base in California. While stationed at Deal, he worked on the SR-71, the Blackbird, and U-2 TR-1 spy planes, in which his duties took him around the world. Aaron was honorably discharged from active service in 1988. 4 days later, he enlisted in the 163rd California Air National Guard at March Air Force Base as a full-time Guard member. While stationed in the 163rd, he worked as an aircraft mechanic and trainer in the F-4 fighter and CK-135 tanker. On October 1st, 2005, Darren was selected to perform active duty for the F-16 Homeland Team Defense in California Detachment, Montana 125th Fighter Wing. His present assignment is a 24 operation which encompasses real-world threats to our nation. Darren has participated in several classified operations during his service for the military, including expeditions in the Persian Gulf and the current war against terrorism. Darren is a candidate to be awarded the rank of Master Sergeant in 2006. He's returning to his college to finish his degree in education. He's actively involved in the Indian community. He co-hosted a local college radio show. He sings at the powwow drum, the Green River Singers, and is a member of the Golden State Ford Dancers. He's married to Pamela Henson and is blessed with 2 wonderful children, Justin and Allison. Darren and his family reside in Moreno Valley, California. So, is there somebody here to accept the award for him? His mom. Go ahead and go and sing. Can you say something you have?
Our family, and I talked to him yesterday, and he said he's going to be watching tonight, so here's your certificate, Darren. And thank you very much for recognizing my son.
You're welcome.
One of the most touching letters that Joe and I got was from him when he was in service in the Persian Gulf. basically thanking us for the letters that he received from the Cherokee Nation, that he had not been forgotten in the service of our country and the Cherokee Nation. The Cherokee Nation has always many things to be grateful for, and tonight we invited the Cherokee Nation Adult Choir to be our guests. As they come down to perform for us, let me tell you a little bit about the choir. The adult choir has been around since the 1980s. They were established at the Cherokee Baptist Assembly Grounds in Briggs and consists of members of various churches. The choir has been invited to sing to the United States and was part of the CD that was recorded to play at the Smithsonian Institute's Native American Museum. The choir members are goodwill ambassadors for the Cherokee Nation. The choir sings at many tribal events and other events around the area. The interim director is Russell Feely. Many of their 25 members are Cherokee Nation employees, and the choir is supported by the Cherokee Nation. So before you sing a hymn for us, please accept a check in the amount of $10,000 to support your continuing spread of the Cherokee language and being our ambassadors. And having said that,
It'd be nice to sing 2 songs, and we're glad to be here, and we're glad to do it. The first song will be "There's a Happy Land," and then "God's Children."
Nani we
There's many great stories of the Cherokee Nation. We've seen several of them tonight. And if you've ever been to a Sequoia basketball game, if the girls don't thrill you with their magnificent play, the boys will take you out of the seat and cheering. And if those two don't do it, let me introduce the Sequoia High School cheerleaders. We take 3 athletic teams. The cheerleaders are certainly that. And what Bonnie didn't tell you, of all the pyramids that they formed, that is the shortest one they do. Last week at Griggs, we were sitting there, and they were always enjoyable. And there were 3 groups, and there was one in the middle, and 2 on each side. The one in the middle did a little pyramid about 10, 12 feet high. And there's a little girl over here getting up at her group, and all of a sudden, she is actually thrown across the floor 20 feet over that middle pyramid. And they called it the cannon or the gauntlet. And the crowd just goes, there's wondering if there's something fell or broke. And there she is, flying through the air, and everybody's mouth is wide open. And then the other group, well, they're just catcher, just light as a feather. And we didn't believe it the first time. Huh? Right. And so we didn't quite believe it, so they did it a second time as masterfully as the first. So it is just a great entertainment. So we want to thank the leadership for providing that kind of activities for you young folks. Thank you very much. So with that, I don't know that I can follow that act. I'll sit down and say, well, no, and look for great things this 2000.
Hey, Smith.
Yes, sir.
You need to mention about the Squarey girls over at the Muskogee tournament.
That's right. They won the first place in the Shriners tournament, and by pretty easy, hands down. And not to disparage our rival boarding school at Riverside, but they got beat in both the boys and girls this weekend. So it was a great day.
Thank you, Chief. Now we move on to the action of unfinished business, and there being none pending, we'll move to the committee reports.
Member of the Language, History, and Culture Committee.
Councilman Keener, he's way over here on the right.
So moved.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Mr. Thornton, you are the committee member. Thank you, Mr. Keener. Next, we move to monthly reports. First report is from the Housing Authority, Mr. David Sutherland.
Good evening. Excuse me. I have a brief report this evening. Our January board meeting will be tomorrow night at 5:30 in the Aline Hogner Conference Room over at our offices. We have a light agenda. One of the topics we'll discuss is cost in our mutual health program and low-income housing program. We've had some brief discussions with the board a few months ago, and we feel we need to continue those. We haven't raised any type of admin fee on our mutual health program. I think it's been 10 years. I know Councilman O'Leary had asked that we be sure and speak to the council about that. We will before any action is taken. Beginning next Monday, the 23rd, we'll be hosting several meetings over the next 7 weeks. I'll provide you all with a schedule at tomorrow's committee meeting. The meetings will be to provide information on mortgage assistance and to gather information on problems families are having getting a mortgage. We'll have staff from Commerce, Career Services, Human Services, as well as the Housing Authority at those meetings. One last item. A few months ago, I mentioned that the Community Shield insurance was going to have an increase. That increase will go into effect in March. The policyholders are being notified of the increase, so it's possible you'll be getting a few calls about the increase. The increase was approximately 15%. It was the Ameren, the provider, that's their increase. It's not ours. We're not charging any administration fee on this program. There are currently 2,064 families that are participating in the Community Shield program. That's my report for the evening. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Are there any questions? Any questions? Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Next, we have Cherokee Nation Enterprises, Mr. David Stewart.
Good evening. November was another great month. In fact, I think it was a record. Despite increased competition around the state, we're able to maintain our market share, and it's a tribute to our employees. All of the dedication to customer service really shows at this point. So another pat on the back for them. Will Rogers will race first time on February 24th, so you will be getting an invitation to that, and we hope you will attend. Another item that's extremely important to us, and that is with regard to our employees and some of the leadership and education that we're providing them. Stephanie Meter is the first graduate of our UNLV Master's Program. She works in our hotel, and she's just the first of several more graduates that will occur over the next years, so we're glad to have that program working. We're working very hard on all of the projects that are going on. You can see Tahlequah and Sallisaw are moving along very well, with Sallisaw expected to open in June, and the facility here in Tahlequah in September. Based on the number of cars, when I pulled by, Michael, you might, if he's there, you might have to go back to work because the parking lot was full. So a lot of success there. So we look forward to opening that, and it will be a great facility that we're all proud of. We finalized the design for West Siloam and expect to break ground in the next 90 to 120 days on it. It is approved by the board, so we have the funds necessary to start. That concludes the report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Are there any questions? Any questions? Thank you, David.
Okay, thank you.
Next, we have Cherokee Nation Industries, Mr. Jim Majewski.
Good evening, Principal Chief Smith, Deputy Chief Grayson, and members of the Council. Sales for the month of December are approximately $7 million, or about 6% less than budget. Sales for the first 6 months of our fiscal year are about $43 million, or about on budget. Gross profit for the first 6 months is about on budget. We expect sales for the next 6 months to be on budget, while the operational income to show a significant improvement. The next C&D board meeting is scheduled for January 31st at 1 p.m. in the 7th floor boardroom in Catoosa. The President and Secretary Treasurer and various other stockholders of GEG will give a presentation on the current situation and business position of GEG. To remind you all, GEG is a company that C&D owns 52% of the stock, and of course, the people that will be there will be able to answer any questions or concerns of the investors. This will yet be another opportunity for the members of the Council and other interested investors to gain information on GEG. And I guess I would like to see if I can't hire the Sequoia cheerleaders to help promote CNIs. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
I have a comment. Knowing that the nature of manufacturing is very cyclical, in that you may get a contract today for 100 people. The termination of that contract, when it's performed, you're faced with the possibility of a layoff, or a majority of the people will be laid off. I want to commend you and the board of directors that you've been able to avoid a major layoff at CNI in several years. I think it's very commendable. I know most of the people at CNI, and I just want to thank you for it as a tribal council, because it means a lot to Adair County and the employees that work there.
Thank you, Councilman Pruitt. Any other questions? Any questions? Thank you, Jim. Next, we have Cherokee Nation Businesses, Golly Ketcher.
Good evening.
Evening.
C&B hosted a combined board of directors meeting for CNI, CNE, and CNB on January 5th. It was a good meeting. Several of the council members were there who serve as advisory members on those boards. We talked about the status of the Jobs Growth Act and where we are on that implementation. One of the big objectives from that meeting was to have the boards of each of those companies give input into the objectives for 2006 and also kick off our strategy action plans for 10 years. That is one of our assignments that we hope to have completed by the end of March, where each of the companies will present a 10-year strategic action plan and roll that out to continue our work on economic development in the area. As of December 31st, CNB had 27 employees. 74% were Cherokee. A total of 81% were Native American. Cherokee CRC, our environmental services company, just received notification from the Tulsa Corps of Engineers that they should be awarded contracts by mid-February totaling $600,000. That's some excellent work by the manager there, Cheryl Konauer. Those were unsolicited work orders that, because of her contacts, she was able to go out and get the work. They have several other bids out with other agencies, and we feel very confident those will be awarded this year, so it's off to a good start. The next CNB board meeting is February 22nd at 10 a.m. in Catoosa. That's my report, and if there's any questions, I'll try to answer them.
Any questions? Any questions? Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Yes, at this time, I'd like to amend the agenda to add an item that went through the Executive Finance on LA 43203. It's changing the Council's emergency assistance slightly. Put that in form of a motion.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call, please.
Bill England,
Yes.
Bill John Baker,
Yes.
Robert Connor, yes. Terry Allen White, yes. Joe Pinkham,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley, yes. John Garvin,
Yes.
Charles Hoskins,
Yes.
William Johnson,
Yes.
John Keenan,
Yes.
Jackie Bob Martin,
Yes.
Linda O'Leary, yes. Ron Shophouse, yes. David Clayton,
Yes.
Phyllis Yarnge, yes.
The vote was unanimous. The amendment passed. That will be item number 5 added to the agenda. Okay, the first order of business and new business is the Comprehensive Act, amending Legislative Act 3005. Ms. O'Leary.
Yes. I'd like to make a motion to amend Lot 4 to delete the two new initiatives of $750,000 for communications and $500,000 to get out the vote. I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion made and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Bill John Baker,
No.
Robert Connor, no. Terry Allen White, yes. Joe Pinkham,
Yes.
Meredith Fraley, no. John Garvin,
No.
Charles Hoskins,
No.
William Johnson,
No.
John Keenan,
No.
Jackie Bob Martin,
No.
Linda O'Leary, yes. Ron Shophouse, yes. David Thornton,
Yes.
Phyllis Yarnge, no. Bill England,
No. Okay, we have 5 yeas and 10 nays, so the act did not pass. Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, item number 2 is a resolution authorizing. Okay.
Discussion to accept the act as written.
Second motion.
Motion made and seconded.
Discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, now I have to do something. I just want to say something to the public and our council here. We spend money at the Cherokee Nation sometimes at an alarming rate. $100,000 here, $500,000 there, $1 million here, $2 million there.
and we spend it sometimes without regard to the services to our people, in my opinion. Tonight, we've requested that we spend $750,000 on a TV campaign to tell how good we are. We're being asked to spend $500,000 to give to politicians. That's $1.25 million of Cherokee's money. The Cherokees I'm hearing from are saying, why do we need to spend this? If we're doing good for our people, that creates loose tongues. Loose tongues tell how good we are at Cherokee Nation. We have a lot of advertising expenses within the Cherokee Phoenix that we put out to our people. We have a lot of other ads through our CNE, CNI, and other entities that we advertise with. And here's what $1.25 million can do for our people. We can give 125 Cherokee students a complete free education. We can build 25 homes for Cherokee's families at $50,000 apiece. We can perform 42 life-saving surgeries at $30,000 apiece. We can get water in the homes of people that's on the 3-year waiting list. We can refurbish countless homes where people's electric is being faulty that may cause an injury or a burnout of their own residence, or the upkeep of a residence for heating and air and other necessities. It can provide dialysis for hundreds of thousands of people that's needing dialysis and are not able to get it done. And we can provide countless eyeglasses and dentures for our people that they're on a waiting list now. And here we are going to turn around and give this type of money to an ad campaign, and on the $500,000 that's being contributed to lobbyists, after that's given, we don't know where that money goes. It's not given back to the people. The people in my district are saying, why are we spending the money on this type of thing when we need services? I have 2 letters from people that I've received. One's a young woman that's 30 years old and has a brain tumor. She has 3 or 4 kids. She's gone to the specialist. They say you need an operation, and she's waiting now for a final approval. They turned her down to go to her last exam in order to get an immediate operation they say she needs. I have another lady with a blood disease that her quality of life's been affected. She needs $75 a month. Medicare pays so much she needs $75 a month is all she's asking for to maintain her quality of life. They've turned her down for that shot that she needs. What they're saying is you can come to the hospital and get a transfusion once your blood depletes so low it's hard for her to build it back up, and she's on the borderline of death at that time. Those are the kind of people that I'm hearing from that needs limbs, people out there that needs limbs. And we've already hired our PR people. We've hired thousands and thousands of dollars. We've got PR people hired to promote the Cherokee Nation. And I'll give somebody else the floor at this time. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. I agree that's a lot of money to spend on an ad campaign when we have folks out there that have very, very serious needs, just as those that Councilor O'Leary has brought to us. We all have those. We all hear those in every one of our districts. However, I don't know how many of you have read the papers lately. The past 6 months, there's been over 40 articles in the Tulsa World claiming that Indians in Oklahoma abuse their privileges. Now, I'm not sure about how you feel about that, but I'm not real keen on the fact that we as Cherokees know what we're doing. We as the government know what we're doing to help people within our district. But the tobacco compacts, the gaming compacts, the motor vehicle agreements that we have, we couldn't even begin to touch some of the emergencies that we have if we didn't have those compacts. And if we didn't have relationships that are built, and sometimes it takes dollars to build those relationships, then we wouldn't even have those compacts. Now we're using 1/3 of 1% of our total budget to do this media, what we call a media blast. And I believe it's there to let the non-Indians know. I don't know if you guys realize the percentage right now is over 55% of the non-Indian population actually believe that Indians are abusing their privileges. That's not a very good ratio. That's not a very good percentage of non-Indians that live right here and work alongside of us. So we need to tell them Cherokee dollars help build the roads that even non-Indians drive on. Cherokee dollars go into the schools that serve programs that even non-Indian students benefit from. Cherokee dollars do this and Cherokee dollars do that across northeastern Oklahoma, and we've got to stretch that all the way to the state capital. This is what this incentive is for. It's not to take dollars away from serious conditions that exist. We have put thousands and thousands, millions of dollars into some of these areas. So I hope folks understand, and I've got folks here in my district that have asked me to really consider this. And I have, and I feel like if we don't educate people, then we're going to cut our own throats down the road. If we don't build some relationships now, and if we don't promote what Cherokees are doing in Oklahoma, then we may not have to worry about putting this kind of dollars into a campaign, because there won't be these kinds of dollars down the road. We don't want to be easy targets for those kinds of cuts. So I'm going to have to say that I'm going to support this part of the budget as well, simply because if we don't educate, we will eventually eliminate. Thank you.
Ms. Collins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think something that's possibly a misnomer about the media campaign specifically is that $750,000 is not to pay an outside firm to tell our story. That is our staff that we have already in place to create the stories that talk about the great things that are happening in our communities and how we affect not only our fellow tribal citizens, but the communities that we live and work in. So that's not going to anyone outside. That's a rumor that's been cast for some reason, that money is not going to pay a consultant to create the ads. That goes only to media purchases. Then the dollars for the PAC or for the political donations, I think Audra put it very well. We have to build relationships with those around us, because too often mainstream non-Indian voters or non-Cherokee voters are voting on issues that affect us. The state compacts alone are projected for us to generate $10 million in revenue. If I have to make a decision to spend $750,000 on a media campaign to gain us $10 million in revenue to help some of the people that Councilwoman O'Leary has pointed out, and we all know those cases that are near us, then I have to make that difficult decision to spend that money up front to ensure that we can continue on and generate revenue through gaming, through the tobacco compact, through things that might come up like the fuels compact. All those different things affect us. But it's to be the greater good and part of the bigger picture. It's not just about these two narrow decisions. These two decisions is something else. It's a bigger part of the decision and the picture out there. And I just really wish we could have all of you at committee meetings when we discuss these things, I guess. But I think Audra just put it right on. It's something that's going to be very difficult when we're faced with people that have health needs, immediate health needs, education needs, and everything else. But it's more than just the $10 million in compact dollars that's going to be affected. We have to influence folks like Inhofe and Coburn, who don't necessarily like the Cherokee Nation, and we want their voters, whether they're a Cherokee or not, to be at their office saying, why are you hurting the Cherokee people? Because they not only help themselves and help their communities, but they help the people in their communities that are surrounded by them. So we want to make it difficult for them to cut our programs, because we don't want Oklahomans saying, oh, don't worry, that only affects the Cherokees. We want them to know how much we bring to our communities we live in. And that's what not only the media campaign dollars is about, but the political donations to campaigns. none of us are going to change how politics happens today. Not today, anyway. So we have to operate in today and the next 5 and 10, let alone 100 years. And so right now, we have to build relationships with campaign donations as well. Thank you for your time.
Well, my thinking is the need is today. Now, we're talking about 4 years from now, probably, we put this money out and we're talking with our legislature and everything, but the need is today. So I make a motion right now that we put $750,000 for the peoples for glasses, water, and whatever the need be. So, second.
Point of order. There's a motion on the floor, and I don't know that this motion has precedence over it.
Okay, I'm not doing I was testing you. No. But if I had a choice right now, like Linda said, the need is there. If I had a choice right now, I would choose for the service of the people against this for right now. I'm just speaking for me. Because it's your fault in your district, and people don't know where you're spending your Cherokee dollars. In my district, they pretty well know where that money's coming from. Because in the paper, the commissioners, they write up an article thanking for Cherokee Nation for the money they spent. And if your district don't know it, it's your fault. So I think the publicity that we pay people for publicity, we've got an office in Washington, D.C. to do that job, and I don't know how much money we spent for that office up there. That's their job, to work with the relationship with our legislature up there. So, like I said, that's my comment, but if I had to choose, I choose for the service of my people, and I'm not going to talk cream when my people have to live on skim milk.
Any other questions or discussion?
Yeah, I'll just take it to Mike. One thing that bothers me about these two items being put on this act is, as far as I know, I haven't seen any documentation to where we're going to spend this money. You need kind of feel like a CPA with your money. You know, you need to be taking care of it. And there's no itemized cost estimates. There's no contracts that they'll contract people or how much they'll use. And as far as being a new initiative, I think that Cherokee Nation has given money before for campaign contributions. I think there's certain people that run for office in the state this last time was given funding from Cherokee Nation. And I haven't seen any documentation or justification on that. It didn't come with this. I haven't seen anything that will change these people's minds that are against us. I think 100 years ago, we had a lot of people against us then. And over 100, they moved us. And I don't think you're going to be able to change these people's minds. I think you're going to have to settle for, this is Indian country. This is Cherokee country. And we're sovereign. And we have to fight for everything that we get. Sometimes we have to go and fight to the Supreme Court of this United States. But some of the time we come out on top. But the way I feel about this, I don't see any documentation. I mean, how's it being spent? Therefore, I don't feel like I can vote for it. I like the act because it has several good things in it. This may be all right for some people, And Ms. O'Connor almost convinced me down there one time. But that's the way I feel about it. Thank you.
Any other question?
Comment, please.
Short comment.
Yes. As short as I want to make it, I'm assuming, okay? We do have a Washington, D.C. office that's cost us thousands of dollars and thousands and thousands. We also have staff. I don't know where $10 million was reached out of the sky that we can accumulate without this PR campaign, because I'm not seeing it. But the key is that we have staff already in place. We have PR people there. We're hiring them all the time. We've hired 2 recently, and we had one that left the complex here and went to CNE. We have these people already in place. But the main thing is we have a chief
that it helps negotiate our state compacts. If our legislators and people at those state offices don't know what's going on, then I suggest the chief get in gear and go inform them of what's going on. We also have ad campaigns. We have CNI advertising, we have CNE advertising, and in a lot of those places, they're what I call vacant ads. There's a lots of room to put in there how wonderful Cherokee Nation is, and it is wonderful, and it is great. But still yet we can do a whole lot better services to our people. And I'm telling you, stand on solid ground against this, because it is not beneficial to our people. And enough said. Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Roll call vote, please.
Audrey Connor? Yes. Carrie Calhoun Moore? Yes. Joe Quinton?
No.
Mary Fraley?
Yes.
John Garvin?
Yes.
Charles Hoskin?
Yes.
William Johnson?
Yes.
John Keener?
No.
Jackie Bob Martin?
Yes.
Linda O'Leary?
No.
Nobody Shop House? No. David Thornton?
No.
Phyllis Yargy? Yes. Bill England?
Yes.
Bill John Baker?
Yes.
The act is passed 10-5. Item number 2 is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation Real Estate Services to negotiate and/or advertise for bid lease tribal units. Mr. Martin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Because of the leases on the tribal units expire at the end of 2006, this resolution is brought forth early for reasons. The request set forth in the attached resolution is for leasing of tribal units for farming and grazing on fee and or trust property, and to waive the bond. The due term will be for 5 years, beginning January 1, 07 through December 31st, 2011. A bid package will be mailed. The resolution is approved. Move for approval.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carried. Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing Department of Children and Youth and Family Services to submit a contract, and that is Ms. Chophouse.
Youth and Family Service to submit a contract with Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs for emergency use, shelter services, and prevention and diversion services, and there is no matching requirement for this. And I want to recognize Linda Van, who is over this. She's setting up. Linda, raise your hand. That's Linda, so she. And I'll put that in for a motion.
Second. Motion is made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carried. Item number 4 is a resolution confirming the nomination of Diane Hammonds as General Counsel of the Cherokee Nation. Ms. Fraley.
Andre Diane Hammonds has been nominated by the Principal Chief to serve in the capacity of General Counsel and also to fulfill the duties of Attorney General as outlined in our Cherokee Code. We have her resume here before us. She's very qualified. We all know her experience, and I would, and she is here in the audience, and I would move for approval. Second.
Motion is made and seconded. Any questions or discussion?
One order. Let me understand. Did you put her in form of Attorney General? No. General Counsel. Fulfilling the duties also of General Counsel. I mean, of Attorney General. General, as delineated in the Cherokee Code. The resolution says, confirming the nomination of Andre Diane Hammonds as General Counsel of the Cherokee Nation.
Well, that's the motion.
Yeah.
Any more questions or discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, no? Motion carried. Stand up, Diane, so we can see you. Would you like to say something?
I would just, Mr. President, thank you for council for your vote of confidence in the principal chief. It's very humbling, and I would like to recognize, if I might, some of my family, my companion who I almost tripped over, Rick Andrews, my aunt, Lily Mae Phillips, my father's sister, 2 of my 3 children, very well behaved, don't you think, just 5 of the 6 staff attorneys are here also. Thank you very much.
Item number is an act. Mr. Baker.
Yes, this is a legislative act to amend LA 4303, an act authorizing emergency assistance program and community support projects, adding new language and declaring an emergency. You get to the meat of it, it'll amend Section F, which will read as follows. Requests or referrals, the Council of the Cherokee Nation may individually or as a body make requests or referrals to the designated human services staff for identified needs. Any request or referrals denied under the program will be reported to the council member making the initial referral. The tribal council, this is the change, may consider approval any emergency assistance application that have been denied by Human Services Department of the Cherokee Nation. I put this in the form of a motion.
Second. Motion's made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Any questions or discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Sarah Callan-Watts? Yes. Joe Craven?
Yes.
Meredith Fraley? Yes. Don Barber?
Yes.
Charles Hosmer?
Yes.
William Johnson?
Yes.
John Keener?
Yes.
Tracy Longmartin?
Yes.
Linda O'Leary?
Yes.
Melvina Shumptown? Yes. David Thornton?
Yes.
Phil Jargi? Yes. Jill England?
Yes.
Bill John Baker?
Yes.
Audrey Carter? Yes.
The vote was unanimous. The act passed. Next, we come to announcements, and the next tribal council meeting is February the 13th at 6 o'clock. Are there any announcements?
Yes. One of my districts. I'd like to ask you all for your prayers. She's on her deathbed, and it's Neoma Coleman. She's from Nycut, Oklahoma. She's full blood, and she's some kind of lady. So if y'all just pray for her, it sure would be. Thank you.
Yes, if you'll remember in the last council meeting, I believe our youth council, raise your hands, youth council, challenged this council to a volleyball match. And of course, I enthusiastically said, yes! And I think I was the only one. I think I've got a couple. Anyway, they have scheduled this match for us, so council members, put this on your calendar. The match will be held on Saturday, January 28th in the Sequoia High School gym at noon. The showdown is at noon. Saturday, January 28th.
In the new gym or the old gym?
I believe in the new gym. I mean in the old gym. Thank you.
Anybody else on the? Go ahead.
I'd just like to introduce a couple folks who drove all the way down here from Washington County. Betty Smith and Dr. Brad Cox. We have 2 more that over here, Roy and Karen. They drove all the way from Denver.
Anybody else on this side? To my left? I'll start here. Mr. Carter.
Have a couple of visitors from Bourne, Virginia, raised back there on the back of Dixie paper. And over here on this side, Joe and Delcy Haley from Muskogee. And from Fort Gibson, Mickey Igert. And from, I guess, Greenleaf Lake, Danny Carter. Danny right here. Thank you.
Ms. Callan?
During the meeting, I'm kind of concerned because I know I can't be there on the day they've designated. I'm already double booked. And I'm hearing no's from everybody around me, so do we have enough for even 3-on-3?
Yeah, what the youth council has so graciously offered is that if not everyone can make it so that we have a full team, then they will divide up and we'll, filter in with them. So, yeah, we'll do games. So, have less videos. You can, yeah, you can. It'll be fun. Bring your cameras.
Ms. Callan, I would sub for you, and that way it'd be kind of even. We would have an even thing.
Moving carried. Second. Motion made, second. All in favor, aye? Aye. All opposed, no. Meeting is adjourned. Oh.